After losing my husband, that first week, I had to figure out all the finances. My husband did all the bills. He literally took care of all of us. Didn't realize how much he did until I lost him. And so those first couple of days, your biggest fears of not knowing, am I going to be able to provide for my children? Are we going to be homeless? It was probably the scariest feeling that I felt.
I represented the family of a man named Dan Heron. Dan was a lifelong resident of Iowa. He was a blue-collar worker. He worked at the DuPont plant here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He and his wife, Cari, had 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. And Cari is a nurse. They were living a great life just outside of Cedar Rapids in a small town in Benton County. I actually met Dan when I was 10 years old. We met in a Boy Scout troop. We would see each other every week at scout meetings or campouts or things like that. He, by all accounts, was an amazing husband and an amazing dad. Unfortunately, I got a call from his dad, and his dad was one of my scoutmasters. And so even though I hadn't seen him in a while, he called me up and said, "Tim, something terrible happened to Dan, and my family would really like you to look into this and see what we can do for Cari and the kids."
The week after losing my husband still seems surreal. It's kind of hard to remember each day. My daughter's birthday was just 4 days after the accident, so I had to try to pull it together to get everything organized for my husband's funeral so that my daughter didn't have to experience her dad's funeral on her birthday. After that, my brother-in-law came over every day, helped me figure out everything I needed to figure out. So it was a week of no sleep, not knowing right from left or what was even going on.
As a breadwinner for the family, obviously the first thing that she's thinking is, how am I going to tell my kids that their dad was killed? Then you start thinking of things like, am I going to be able to keep the house? Without Dan's income, it's like how all the things that Dan did around the house, did for their family, all of those things now fell on her shoulders.
He literally took care of all of us. Didn't realize how much he did until I lost him. And so my brother-in-law helped me get everything switched into my name, run the death certificates for me so that I could get things done, and just help me figure everything out. I'm thankful that my brother-in-law helped me day to day. He was the one, and my father-in-law, that reached out to RCH Legal.
When a bad injury happens on the job, a lot of times the employees are not allowed to speak to anybody outside the company. So even though Dan had a lot of good friends who were coworkers, they were all instructed to share as little as possible about what happened. That was something we were able to get through the Freedom of Information Act requests from OSHA. OSHA came in and they were able to get the security footage, and we were able to piece together. Dan had a job where he would meet tanker trucks and help load them with pumping in chemicals into the tanker, and then the truck would leave and deliver that. This particular truck, which was from Illinois, when this driver came onto the property, we could see from the footage that he never got out of the truck, and we could see why. It was a bitterly cold winter day, and you could see that Dan went up to the cab and communicated with the truck driver, and Dan was the one who took the lead with pumping the tanker. And then the truck driver believed it was okay to go ahead and drive off at some point. Unfortunately, Dan was still near the trailer, and so he ran over Dan and killed him.
It was so hard for me to process just because, I lost my husband. We didn't even get to see him. It kind of made it more real that he was gone. So when Tim and I sat down and talked about the fees and what my responsibility would be, knowing that wasn't something I had to worry about. Every time I needed a question or advice or just an update on what's going on, I didn't have to worry about money adding up because Tim explained to me the contingency fee. If this works out and there's a settlement, that's how he gets paid. If not, he doesn't get paid.
To communicate to the insurance company what was lost, what was taken from this family. It is to interview the people that knew him best. I sat down and spent hours talking to Cari, talking to each of the kids, talking to family members, talking to coworkers, family friends, and we recorded all those interviews, and it was really impressive, the life that he had built for his family. After I made this video, I told the insurance company for the trucking company that before we would agree to participate in settlement negotiations, they had to assure me that anybody who was a decision maker had watched this video. And then when we ultimately went to a mediation, I made sure the mediator watched it. After a full day of negotiations, the mediator, who used to be the chief judge in Cook County, came into our room and said, if I can get you this number, is this something that you can live with? And of course, we were constantly having a discussion with Cari for weeks before this. And so we had a general idea of what amount of money would be something that the family could live with. The good news was we were able to get a lot more than that. I mean, you could see all the tension just release from her body as it dawned on her that there was going to be an end that day.
The feeling I felt when I left was that I don't need to know everything, that I didn't need to know how to figure this aspect out of taking care of my kids. Tim made me feel like the financial part or those worries that I couldn't focus on at the time, I didn't have to think about at that moment.
One of the things that you can do in a settlement situation is you can structure the money that is going to the kids. And so one of Cari's big concerns was, obviously her kids were entitled to money for losing their dad, but she wanted to make sure that money was going to come to them at times in their life when they could financially handle it. And so one of the things we did was we sat down with each of them and made sure that the settlement money that was going to each of them was going to be protected until they needed it.
Tim took the time and his assistants to get to know each one of my children. The kids and I could go forward. I mean, we think about Dan every day, but the assurance that they can still go to college or they can reach for their goals, and I'm able to help them with that. Everything that I help my kids do, I remind them that's still their dad taking care of them. Everything. I don't ever take full praise from my kids when they thank me for something, because without the settlement and Tim's help, we wouldn't be able to do those things. I don't know how I would have done it.
I felt very proud because I knew that this family was worth every hour, every minute that we had put into the case. It makes me feel like the sacrifices that my team makes was worth it, because we were serving people when they needed us the most. And when you have these opportunities to work for people, work for families who are truly deserving, it just motivates you to do everything possible.
I never felt like I was an inconvenience. I felt like I was their only client. I thank my family and RSH Legal for getting me through many days and months and years. I'm thankful that I had my family that helped me reach out to RSH Legal. I wouldn't have gotten through it. My kids wouldn't be at right now, years later, where they're at without the help of RSH Legal.